Fieber unterhalten.
Yo, what is good, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to Georgia Sports Central on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all things that are sports. It's your boy ACS. Got a little show for y'all today, a couple things to talk about. Obviously, All-Star break when it comes to basketball. All-Star break is crazy, man. All-Star break is crazy. A couple of things, little Falcons news, little news, a little bit of NFL news that's not sort of right centralized around Georgia that just came out today concerning the salary cap. We'll talk about a little bit. A couple other things as well. When it comes to some soccer news, the season is starting. You know what I'm saying? United play this weekend. Georgia's basketball team has got another bout with number one Auburn this weekend, so we'll see how that goes. But anyway, I'll be back in just a bit. You're watching Georgia Sports Central, IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all things that are sports.
IE Sports Radio fans, this show is brought to you by Planet Jerky Premium Brisket Beef Jerky. Planet Jerky is the official jerky of the 2022 California League champion Lake Elsinore Storm, Single A affiliate of the San Diego Padres. This all brisket jerky has gluten-free options, contains no MSG, no sodium nitrate, is low in sugar, and high in protein. Go to their website at planetjerky.net and follow them on Instagram at Planet Jerky. Planet Jerky, the jerky that's on a whole other planet.
Rise and shine. It's 4 a.m. The stars are still out. The sun is beneath the horizon, but it's time to punch in and go to work. The comfort of your warm-ups turns into the grinding out of your reps as the clinking and the clanking of the plates create a symphony of euphoria. There's no other feeling like it. Earn it, burn it, and take what's yours. IE Sports Radio has proudly partnered with Vital Apparel, a brand that not only fits great, but also promotes and donates to mental health research. Use our code IESR to get 15% off their comfortable and inspiring gym wear and help them on their amazing journey to support mental health. Go hard, take part in your iron therapy, and be strong. Because when your mental health is as strong as you are, there's no telling how far you'll go.
Hey there, IE Sports Radio fans. Be sure to check out our sponsor, Seal the Deal Wax Seals by Cecilia B. You just finished your very own wedding or baby shower invitations and you're looking for that extra special touch? Maybe you just wrote a letter to a relative or a friend and you want to add to their smile when they receive it. Then seal the deal with Cecilia's handmade sealing wax stamps for your invitations, letters, and gifts. You bring the deal, we'll bring the seal. You can find them on Instagram at sealthedeal_wax stamps and on Facebook, Seal the Deal Wax Seals.
What is up? What is up? What is up? Like I said, you are watching Georgia Sports Central on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all things that are sports. What is good, you guys? Another week has passed. Well, this is that time of year, right? I was talking about this recently. This is for a guy like myself, who's like obviously football is literally, when sports, as far as sports are concerned, is like king to me, right? Like, that's just the way I grew up, man. Football is just that. Then basketball, and then sort of get the baseball things. I love all the sports, man. I think I admire what it takes to be able to play at any level, whether you're talking about like little league or like my grandson out there, man. He's about to start. He ain't played a couple seasons because he got bored with it, but now he's back about to spot out there hitting some balls. You know what I'm saying? Making some contact. So I'll be looking forward to seeing some of them games this season. I know about y'all are probably out there, got kids and stuff that are getting in. This is about that time of year where Little League Baseball is starting, man. It's a fun time, right? Developmental years for your kids. They decide whether or not there's something they want to stick with, or if they just want to play it until, we know everybody ain't got it. If everybody had it, you could imagine the world be if 99.9% of kids who started Little League at like 6 all made it to the majors. Insane, right? Never happened. That's just it's impossible. The odds are against most when it comes to that. But it's that time of year, man. It's kind of slow. The All-Star break hit. Which, look, man, thoughts real quick. I don't know what the future holds. I know that like NBA ratings have been falling, and there's what do we do? What do we do? How do we fix this thing, man? I don't know if this past Sunday is how you fix that. I barely watched, to be honest, but it's crazy, man. It's crazy. All I know is I remember a time when the players on the court in the All-Star game was like, nah, homie, you are not beating me. I don't care what kind of exhibition game we at. Same thing with the hockey game this past weekend, dog. I gotta laugh, man. I gotta laugh. The hockey out here putting in work when it comes. And now you can say, I don't care if you think that shit was staged or whatever. That it was entertaining as hell, and it showed you that these two teams, when it comes to like Canada and the US, are not homies. They're not on good terms. They don't see eye to eye, and they let you know that, man. That's what we need. Back in the day, I'm telling you, man, Jordan, when Jordan the All-Star game, he was gonna let you know we don't see eye to eye, bro. They say I don't give a damn what we've been assembled for this weekend. I am not about to. Ain't no half stepping. That's what back in the day there was no half stepping when it came to the basketball, the NBA All-Star game, man. They knew that there was people there that don't get to come to basketball games every day. They knew this, and they entertained, and also they went at each other, man. Went at each other. I dare you to find me a clip of Kobe Bryant going half stepping in an All-Star game. I mean, shoot, man. In the Olympics, remember he went through. The clip is very popular. He's where it starts with D Wade, and he's like, "Hey, Kobe said, yeah. As soon as the game starts, I'm going through Paul's chest, man. I know everybody. If you remember that clip, as soon as that game started, Kobe. And at the time, they were Lakers teammates, Paul Gasol and Kobe. Kobe went straight through his ass, straight through him. I mean, it's one of the most lethal checks I've ever seen in basketball in my entire life. And I'm like, yo, and it's like that's. Find me a clip, man. Find me a clip anywhere, Jordan or some of these cats from back in the day, man, that showed them half stepping in an All-Star game. There wasn't no half stepping, man. There wasn't no shorts. They was out there they wanted. They're competitors. They compete, and they competed to the maximum level. Wasn't no let me go easy on this one. So like next month I still got some energy. It's none of that. They went hard, man. So NBA, you ratings falling. I mean, I don't know what else what the solution would be, but that is one of them. Ratings wasn't falling back then. Ratings wasn't falling when cats was taking swings at each other on the court, and like it was real competitive, like real shit in the All-Star game. That's what we need to get back to, man. That's what we need to get back to. Everybody's so scared to get hurt and things of that nature. They wasn't back then. They weren't. They said, nah, man. I don't care what kind of game this is. You the East will beat you, the West will beat you. Like they went at each other's throats, man. Made it hardcore playing. So I'm not trying to say that's the only solution. But I tell you what, man, basketball, you got people looking at you funny, especially when you saw what happened in that hockey game. And that's an exhibition. Them cats ain't even getting paid, bruh. Hockey players ain't getting paid, not a dime. I mean, I'm sure they're getting something, but you understand what I'm saying. They out here, battling, man. Yo, what's good, Larry? OB, what's up? What up, man? Yeah, man. So back in the day, again, I don't know what the solution could be for the NBA to get back on the track, but I tell you, back in the day, them cats they balled. Them cats balled in the All-Star game. They none of them. You ain't gonna catch none of them half stepping. They need to get back to that, man. They need to get back to that if they trying to get these ratings up. At least that would be my first thought, my first step to getting back to where the NBA has been with ratings wise and things of that nature, man. Because I think there's enough parity in the NBA, right? There is. I mean, Boston seems to be the favorite to sort of repeat, but they probably won't. It's Golden State went on a couple strings back then, but I think there's enough recent parity in the NBA. That's not the problem, I don't think, man. I don't know what to do with that, but the All-Star game this past weekend. Yeah, man, throwing ball. Hey, B, your boy. I just talked about it. I don't know if you caught on and jumped on in time when I was talking about that shoulder check that Kobe gave Paul Gasol in the Olympics, man. You know what I'm saying? Let him know off rip. That's how they did, man. That's how the players did back then, man. They don't do that no more, man. It's more finesse and things of that nature. But anyway, let's jump in. I got a little bit of news for Atlanta United. Not much. Obviously, the soccer season, basically just to say the season starts Saturday, man. The season starts on the 22nd, 7:30 p.m. against Montreal. Like I always admit, I like to keep it real with you guys. I'm not the biggest soccer guy, but I will be watching. I want to check it out. First game of the season, see what the Cats is working with, see what the season could possibly look like. Obviously we got new pieces, coaching, all of that kind of stuff with United. So there's something that might interest you if you're a soccer fan. I mean, hey, it starts Saturday, man. Kicking off on Saturday. See what we got. Boy, you crazy. Said it so. He probably would, man. And we was playing. It was East versus West, man. You probably would in the game, man. Right off rip, they'd be like, "Ooh," like Chris Bosh, "Ooh," when he saw that happen. If you don't know, I'm sorry if I'm going over anybody's head. There's a clip that I've watched. I don't know how many times of like LeBron and Chris Bosh and D Wade talking about that shoulder check that I was just mentioning for Kobe on Paul Gasol, and like their reaction to it was insane. Like it's a good clip. If you've never seen it, I should try to find it, but I wish I had it pulled up so I could show you guys, but I don't have it. All right. So anyway, let's move on to some NFL, man. Obviously it's off-season Falcons. We still have about 3 weeks until free agency starts, and we get to start seeing where some of these pieces are going. Start seeing like what if there's going to be some trades, if there's who's getting signed, who's getting franchised. Which the franchise tag period opened yesterday, I believe, and I hadn't seen anything happen yet, unless I've missed it. If I have, I apologize. But a couple things real quick, man, when it comes to the NFL, speaking not just to the Falcons, but of the entire league. The NFL today informed teams, this is from Dan Graziano, informed teams that the 2025 per team salary cap will fall in the range of $277.5 million to $281.5 million, way up from last year's $255.4 million. Cap will have increased by more than $53 million over the last 2 years. So that's good news for some people. Good news for some teams, right? I mean, when you talk about the NFL, it's not like baseball, so it's not like unlimited spending and so those sort of things. So you got this hat right here. So that's significant, man. That's a significant jump, and you could tell. I know the NFL. You could tell that it's I think teams would like to. Well, some teams would like to pay players more money. Can't speak. I don't know if the Bengals are going to join that trend this season or not. I have zero clue whether or not they get on that bandwagon. You know how the Cowboys have been in previous seasons, but this is from the memo the league sent the teams today, including the league's explanation of why the cap number is not yet finalized. Check it out. It says, as you know, the 2024 player cost and salary cap amount was reduced by $10 million per club due to a $9 million smoothing adjustment and an incremental $1 million being added to performance-based pay. The parties agreed that the NFLPA would have the unilateral right to recover up to 50% of the $9 million deferral in the 2025 league year, with any remaining amount being recovered in the 2026 league year. We presented a range of options to the NFL Players Association in December. However, we still have not been advised on how the union plans to reinstate the deferral for the 2025 league year. We expect to conclude negotiations over the 2025 player cost and salary cap amount next week, but can provide a projected salary cap range of $277.5 to $281.5 million per club that can be used in your planning leading into the combine. Keep in mind that this range is subject to change based on further negotiations with the NFL Players Association. That is from Dan Graziano on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it these days, talking about the salary cap going up next season. So there you go, man. NFL teams, if your team, if that helps your team out, good on you. If it doesn't, hey, man, then, maybe not. And also, this is something that's now I'm going to bring this up. All right? This is for those of y'all who are not watching and those who are only listening. I'm going to explain sort of what this is. I ran across this thing on online, and it's sort of this sort of NFL fan base tier list. Now, it's wild just because it says NFL fan base tier list, the best fans, right? It says the best fans in the NFL. And this is, what is this? Guys in LA NFL, I can't remember where it came from, but it says the best fans are Detroit Lions, Minnesota Vikings, Buffalo Bills, Green Bay Packers, Seattle Seahawks. Great fans, right? It says New Orleans Saints, Baltimore Ravens, Cincinnati Bengals, Tampa Bay Bucks, 49ers, Cleveland Browns, Texans, Steelers, Titans, and Colts have great fans. All right. Okay fans. It says Miami Dolphins, Denver Broncos, Los Angeles Rams, Bears, Vegas Raiders, Atlanta Falcons, and the New York Jets. So Falcons fans, say y'all great, man. Some great fans. Insufferable fans, right? Dallas Cowboys, New York Giants, Philadelphia Eagles, New England Patriots, and Kansas City Chiefs. Some of that is spot on. I can't even lie. And the non-existent fan bases, the Arizona Cardinals, the Chargers, Jaguars, Commanders, Panthers. So hey, you have it there. That's sort of what they broke down. I'm not going to say I agree with all of this totally, but there is a category on here that I sure can agree with some of the teams in there, and that would be the insufferable tier list, y'all. The insufferable tier list. So yeah, I just want to brought that. I saw that, thought that was pretty cool. Interesting to see how they broke down these the fan bases in the NFL. Kind of wild, but let's get into the Falcons, man. Get into the Falcons, bro. Let's talk about a couple things, man. When it comes to the Falcons, taking the steps of moving forward, right? If you're a Falcons fan, you know that Kirk Cousins' contract and the guaranteed money he is to receive this season is like looming large over the team, man. Like it's out there. It's like one of the it's like one of those things where it's like it's going to be very interesting to see how the team decides to move forward right now with that, because I talked about it a few weeks before. The brothers, Raiders fans are top two easy. Yeah, man. Insufferable kingdom, man. But no. But it's going to be interesting to see moving forward how they deal with this, because it's a lot of money. It's like right here, ESPN.com said this past season has featured the good, the bad, and the ugly for the Falcons. Agreed. The team had high hopes going into 2024. The Falcons sold out their season ticket packages before training camp last year. I remember that. For the first time in 20 years, they had signed Kirk Cousins. They had they had made some moves, and it looked promising, especially considering how competitive the South looked, the NFC South. It didn't look from the outset like the Falcons might have much of a challenge when it came to do. So let's see. In week 2, newly acquired quarterback Kirk Cousins led them to a comeback win on the road on Monday Night Football against the Eagles. You remember that? Remember they beat the Eagles, man, in Philly on Monday Night Football. It was looking like this is like, Falcons fans like, this could be a season, man. And I said it, man, last the offseason before when they picked up Kirk Cousins, I thought, oh yeah, they win in the South. And that was me looking to be using the same eyes, I guess, to take a look at the entire division. The NFC South, like, wait a minute, young Bryce Young, okay, the Saints, a little flux there, little stuff there. The Bucks, okay, shit, man, we might have a chance. Falcons, the Falcons, hey, they got a good quarterback, good pickup and stuff, and we all know how the season end. The ugly came last week. Cousins admitted on NFL Network that he took a hit on a Week 10 loss and injured his right shoulder and elbow. Remember, he put that news out there, which is 36 years old and coming off a torn right Achilles. Said he can never get the arm back to where he wanted it. Previously, when asked, Cousins denied he was injured. He did. So did the Falcons coaching staff and front office. When he appeared as limited on the injury report during Week 11 for right shoulder and elbow injury, Cousins chalked it up to a clerical error. So now the Falcons go into the offseason with Cousins, a backup quarterback getting paid a guaranteed $90 million. And a defense that regressed from 2023. Here are 4 steps to help the Falcons. Not all the steps. These aren't guaranteed things, but I've read this article. I can agree with what he's saying here. A clean break from Cousins, man. Like that's when you're moving on to Michael Penix, and the team has stated thus so. They're not going to go back to Cousins and have Penix sit on the bench again to start this season. They're going to have him be the starter for the Falcons moving forward. In his end of season news conference, Falcons general manager Terry Fontenot said the team was comfortable moving forward with Cousins as Penix's backup. You have no choice. I mean, in some instances, that was before Cousins' remarks last week. The Falcons haven't addressed Cousins' comments about being injured, but no team will be happy about not knowing its quarterback was injured or about perceptions that may have known but let him play anyway. There has been dysfunction from the start between Cousins and the Falcons. They surprisingly drafted Penix at number 8. I'll never forget it. And he said he dreamed of retiring in Georgia, where his wife is from and where her family still lives. The drafting of Penix meant Cousins would just be a holdover, which begs the question of whether he would have signed if he would have known. Nah, maybe. I don't know. They gave him a lot of money. He still might have signed and thought, man, I'll go in there and outplay this young chap. And I'll outplay the young chap. And I'll I'm the starter. I'm the guy here, right? He played well over the first 9 games he did, and including setting a single game franchise record of 509 passing yards against the Bucks. See what I'm saying? They were clapping, man. The Falcons have 3 options: trade Cousins, release him, or have him back up Penix. They would rather get something in return if they part ways, because in either of these scenarios, they'll be eating a ton of dead money. Tell you, man, it's for a team like the Falcons who are trying to make some moves to improve from last season, this is going to be something that's not going to be beneficial, man. But Cousins has a no trade clause, so he would need to buy into any trade idea. It seems unlikely they'll keep him. If Atlanta cuts Cousins before the start of the league year, March 12th, 3 weeks, the team would get hit with a $65 million in dead money coming from his fully guaranteed base salary of $27.5 million and $37.5 million in remaining proration. Per roster management system, if they do it with a post-June 1st designation, the dead money would spread over the 2025 and 2026 season, $40 million in 2025 and $25 million in 2026. So that's what you'll be looking at. Next, the Falcons need to invest in the pass rush. The Falcons will have a ton of cap room. That's going to be the thing, man. They're going to have to find somebody in the draft, man. Like, they won't have a ton of cap room to just be coming at some people. Some of these free agents. Roster management system currently lists them as being almost $13 million over the cap. So this might require some creativity, but there might never be a better chance for Atlanta to get its first true all-pro level pass rusher since John Abraham. Myles Garrett has requested a trade. We all know about him out there. Again, I've mentioned it several times before. Teams going after Myles Garrett are going to have to put in a lot of equity into that trade. And I don't know. It doesn't seem as likely now with the team's new leadership, but Max Crosby and the Las Vegas Raiders could also split. Acquiring any of those big names will require draft capital, contract restructuring of current players, some releases, and maybe another trade. But Fondo is always willing to be aggressive and do. They benefit from the salary cap going on, right? The Falcons also figured to take a pass rusher with the number 15 pick in April, whether that be someone like Tennessee's James Pierce or Marshall's Mike Green or the rapidly ascending Shamar Stewart out of Texas A&M. Khalil Mack is also available as a free agent, though he's in NFL terms, I guess, for his position. 33 years old. They got to re-sign the center and all of those things when it comes to that. So that's just a little bit of the Falcons off-season stuff. Also, Falcons signed 18 players to the reserve future contracts for 2025. A couple of them, Junior Oho, defensive tackle, Matthew Cindric, offensive lineman, Philip Dorsett, the second wide receiver, Elijah Dotson, running back, Dylan Drummond, wide receiver. The Atlanta Falcons 17 players to reserve future contracts following the conclusion of the 2024 regular season. LaCale London, defensive tackle. Benny Sapp III, defensive back. Lamar Jackson, not that one, defensive back. 13 of the names, those with an asterisk, are already familiar to the Falcons. They were on Atlanta's practice squad at some point during the 2024 season. 3 were even elevated and saw game time in 2024. So, we'll see what happens with that. Just thought I'd mention that just in case anybody was interested about signing those future players when it comes to stuff like that. Also, there's another cat that's out there. Chase Young, man, pass rusher. Y'all know Chase Young, Ohio State guy, absolute beast coming out of college. Had a great rookie season with the Commanders. Obviously injured the ACL and sort of missed the rest of the season, and he was never the same in my personal opinion. But the Falcons, once again, entered offseason with clear need at edge rusher, like I just mentioned. Fans are likely already familiar with Young. The former number 2 overall pick was viewed as a generational prospect when he was selected by Washington in the 2020 draft. He was named Defensive Rookie of the Year. Told you he was doing them things, man, and then selected to the Pro Bowl that season after recording 7.5 sacks, 10 tackles for loss, 4 forced fumbles, 3 fumble recoveries, and a touchdown. He hasn't quite replicated that success, which is why he could be an affordable option for the Falcons. So Young signed a 1-year deal with the Saints for $13 million, but the contract was spread out over multiple seasons to make him more affordable in 2024. That is a model for the type of contracts the Falcons could approach him with if they are, in fact, interested. So although he technically didn't start a game for the Saints in 2024, Young was used heavily on their defensive line in a situational role, and he was effective. 73 pressures. His get-off time is 0.83 seconds. And so, yeah, we'll see. That's another option out there, man, Chase Young. I think, look, the young cat still got some fuel in the tank. I got to believe that. For sure. And I got to think so. So that's an option. We'll see. Maybe dude looks for a fresh start in Atlanta, man. Obviously got the D coordinator coming back who's been gone for a little bit. And so hey, we're going to take a quick break. I'll be back in just a minute. You are watching Georgia Sports Central on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all things that are sports.
For the last 10 years, IE Sports Radio has been bringing you amazing content ranging from interviewing legendary athletes, coaches, and other authorized media personnel to building tailor-made shows dedicated to all major sports cities around the country. Make sure to follow us at IE Sports Radio on X, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube to keep up with the latest in sports and with all of our shows. Also, make sure to check out our daily updated website at iesportsradio.com. At iesportsradio.com, you can see our daily show schedule and check out all of our show pages with personal bios to learn a little bit more about each of our awesome hosts. In addition to our show pages, you can catch the iSports Radio blog, Hall of Fame, Fans of the Month page, and our merchandise shop, including t-shirts, tank tops, caps, long sleeves, hoodies, and more. For now over a decade here at IE Sports Radio, we've continued to be by the fans, for the fans, and we thank you all for your support and for making IE Sports Radio your direct feed for all that is sports.
What's happening, sports fans? Are you a fan of Southern California sports? Are you looking for a show hotter than a hot summer day in California? Then look no further than the SoCal Supreme Sports Show, where I talk about all things Southern California sports. That's right, all sports teams from Southern California. From the hard-hitting tackles of the NFL, to the killer crossovers and big three-pointers of the NBA and WNBA, to the grand slams of the MLB, to the bone-chilling goals of the NHL, and to the booming kicks of the MLS. The SoCal Supreme Sports Show has it all for you. Oh, and let us not forget about the college sports as well. So join me, Taryn Rodriguez, every week here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Are you a Tar Heel, Blue Devil, Demon Deacon, or maybe even a Gamecock? Do you cheer for the Panthers, the Canes, the Crown? And check out the Carolina Sports Update every week with me, Neil Curtis, to get the latest and greatest on all the sports action in the Carolinas. We'll be talking pro sports, ACC and SEC football, basketball, baseball, and everything in between. We'll even talk a little Formula One racing now and again. So, for the best hour of Carolina sports coverage, catch me each week on Carolina Sports Update with Neil Curtis, right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
What is up? What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the show. You know what I'm saying? Georgia Sports Central on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all things that are sport. It's your man's ACS. Excuse me. Sorry about that. Bad way to come back from the break. Anyhow, let's go ahead and talk some Braves baseball. Let's move on. Hey, it's almost here, y'all. It's almost here. Spring training starts Saturday. First game against Minnesota for the Braves. Obviously, lots of injuries for the Braves last year, as I've mentioned several times before. Some of them cats coming back, man. And we got some little bit of a news when it comes to the Braves right now, when it comes to who's coming back and starting. I mean, I've been seeing some videos, a lot of hidden videos. The first full team, the team was all together there this week in Florida for the first time, and it's looking good, man. It's looking good. I'm excited. I'm pumped up, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm ready for the chop. It's Chop City time, right? Let's go Braves, man. Let's hey, look, I know last year we made the playoffs and it was crazy that we did, considering what the team was missing and how many players we had that were injured. And I mean, we made a little bit of noise there, but eventually, you succumb because when your stars aren't there, you need those guys. You need them. Anyway. Yeah, Braves Acuna, Strider on target for early season returns. Braves star outfielder Ronald Acuna Jr. took batting practice at spring training Thursday, and right-hander Spencer Strider has already thrown a side session this week at the Florida camp. While neither Acuna, the unanimous 2023 NL MVP, nor Strider, a 20-game winner from that same season, are expected to be ready for Atlanta's opener while recovering from injuries, manager Brian Snitker said both are making good progress to be ready early this season. We're going to make two really big trades at some point in time early in the season and get, an all-star and potential Cy Young Award winner back, Snitker told the MLB Network. That's exciting, right? We're going to make two really big trades at some point early in the season, man. I can't wait to see what those trades entail. Acuna tore his ACL last year, obviously May 26th, and the 27-year-old slugger had surgery on June 6th. I mean, the cat's looking good, man. I know if you're a Braves fan, you've probably seen some kind of footage from spring training, some kind of footage from his rehab for the torn ACL. Dude's out there hitting balls, man. You know what I'm saying? Skyrockets, right? He out there doing his thing. So exciting times. Even seen him running a few times, not up to full speed just yet, but your man's is making his way back there, right? Last able to repair the ulnar collateral ligament in his pitching elbow. This is Strider. Strider, 26, had internal brace surgery to repair the UCL in his pitching elbow. Along with BP on the field with teammates, Acuna has run sprints multiple times in outfield already at camp. Ronald's doing everything. He hasn't done a lot of the cutting and things like that, Snicker said. But, I've seen him in Atlanta before I came down. As a matter of fact, Acuna said that he tore the other ACL a few seasons ago, right? And so this one, he said, is moving along faster, and the rehab is going better than that one did, and that one went well. So it's encouraging news, right? Coming out of the Braves, man. Strider threw a side session Wednesday, the first official day of workout for Braves pitchers and catchers. He was a 20-5 with a 3.86 ERA and 32 starts in 2023 when he led the league with 281 strikeouts. The ball's coming out really good. So Acuna hit 337 with 41 homers, 106 RBIs, and 73 stolen bases in 2023 when he became the first player in baseball history to hit 40 and steal 70. Atlanta won a 6th NL East title in a row. He played only 49 games last season before sustaining a complete ACL tear on May 26th. I remember I was watching at the time when it happened. It was devastating, dog. Like, you see, if you've been watching sports long enough, when you see certain injuries, you already know, especially when it's non-contact and a player just goes down and you're like, you have to shake your head, man, like in disgust at like what just, you know what I'm saying? Because it just, As a matter of fact, I can't remember a time as a fan when I've seen those kind of injuries and it end up being nothing. It's always something. It's always something, man, especially when it's non-contact. So I remember watching it when he tore his ACL, and I was like, oh man. So he also tore his right ACL in 2021 and returned the following April. So yeah, looking for that. Let's see. Acuna says knee is at 90 to 95%. It says he's almost completely recovered after tearing his left ACL while playing for the Braves last May. So I feel great when they tell me I need to be there that day. I'll be there. Acuna injured the left knee. We talked about that. Let's see. He said, let's see. We think getting him back is going to be big. AA said, of course it's big. That's an understatement. Bringing him back is going to be big is an understatement for that. Yeah, man. Compared to his previous experience with ACL, Acuna said he would feel more stable. So, yeah, so there's that, man. A little bit of news. I mean, look, it's as we start getting. Oh, I do want to mention one thing though that I saw. This this automatic pitching thing, man. They starting to go bring it in spring training at some of the games, and if all goes well, I think it's supposed to be implemented next season, the 2026 Major League Baseball season, which is getting rid of the human error part of calling balls and strikes, which is frustrated fans and players and the managers and people in general forever, right? And they've always wanted something there where you can say, no, it's a strike, no, it's a ball. Oh, well, let's check and make sure, right? And I think this thing is like pretty accurate, pretty close to like it's off by just a little millisecond off in either direction than what it can be. I had an article here, but now I can't find it where I was reading about the thing, but that's gonna be interesting. I like to know how people feel like I think that's a good thing. Any way that you can, I mean, when they brought challenges in the NFL, I know there's a lot of big grumblings at first, but I think it's pretty much worked the way that they had planned on it working. And it says that it will be just like football, where if you win your first challenge, you get to keep it and you don't lose the challenges and stuff like that. So, yeah, man, I don't know, man. I don't know. We'll see what happens with it, man. I'm interested to see how it works and to see if it does do well, if they might speed up the implementation of it. It's not coming this season, y'all. I don't think there's any way in hell that they put that into place to be ready for opening day in just a month or two. So we're gonna have to wait. Yes, it's called ABS, automatic battery control system. I can't remember what it was, but yeah, man, that's interesting. But yeah, spring training is in there, man. I'm sure if you are any kind of thing, you'll be seeing videos of your players hitting balls, and it's that feeling, right? It's the time of year. It's in the air. I'm excited, and hopefully I can make my way to a couple games this season, man. I hadn't been to a Braves game in a minute, bro. Admittedly, so I feel like trash admitting that, but yes, that is the truth. I have not been to one in quite some time. Let's move on. Let's move on a little bit. Get to some Georgia talk. There ain't much really out here talking about. Obviously, it's this time of year. The recruiting is going on, spring training, and things of that nature when it comes to football, college football, things of that nature. Georgia's getting ready to. Obviously, we got when it comes to get a little bit of stuff out here. Obviously, you saw the ex-player, Georgia standout, current Ravens player, Ben Cleveland, arrested for DUI in Georgia, the offseason down here, running and ripping. But y'all need to calm that shit down, man. This is not good news. This is terrible news. Former UGA standout, current Ravens player, Ben Cleveland, arrested for DUI in Georgia. Said he had a few beers or whatever, blew way over the legal limit. So I hate to talk about bad news on here, but I mean, it is news, and I feel regressive if I just talk about all the good stuff, man. I don't need to see you don't need to see Freddie hit. So yeah, it's not good news, not good news at all. But hopefully my mans can get some help and get reinterested. I know punishments haven't come down yet. All of that stuff will come, I'm pretty sure, before we even get to the draft when it comes to that. Or maybe they might wait till after. Maybe they might. Well, punishment's gonna come from the NFL. They did. That's not gonna go unpunished. Probably gonna come from the Ravens as well. So, also let's get rolling with some of this Georgia stuff, man. Let's see. Let's get to it. All right. 5-star cornerback Jaheim Singletary commits to Georgia, man. The number 1 ranked recruiting class in the country just got stronger. 5-star defensive back recruit Jaheim Singletary has committed to the Georgia Bulldogs. Singletary was previously committed to Ohio State. Stole homie from there. Appreciate you. You know what I mean? Singletary plays high school football for Riverside High School in Jacksonville, Florida. The talented defensive back is ranked as the third best recruit in Florida. Singletary is the 18th ranked recruit in the class of 2022. Is the 23rd commit for Kirby Smart and the Georgia Bulldogs. The 6'2", 170-pound cornerback is a great addition to Kirby Smart's class of 2022. Georgia is likely losing starting cornerback Darian Kendrick to the NFL after this season. Yes. Jaheim Singletary is ranked as the 5th best cornerback recruit in the class of 2022. Singletary committed to Georgia over Miami, Ohio State, and Florida. Here's how Georgia football Twitter reacted. So that's nice, man. Singletary, nice player, man. Nice player. Going to be good to see my man's, you know what I'm saying, on the field for the Dogs. Also, I think this is important. Real quick article when it comes to drive. I read this and thought this was very interesting and very insightful and very true. This year's game against Alabama is Georgia's most important contest of the entire season. Now, I'm not willing to jump on that bandwagon just yet and say that, but I will admit it is rather important. And as the season gets closer and as the season starts and things of that nature, we start to see some things. It could possibly be the most important game on the schedule. And here's why. It explains that Alabama did not make the playoff. Nick Saban ain't there no more. The Crimson Tide took a sports back, if you want a step back for in the sport, if you want to look at it that way. I mean, they did. This was the season that Alabama had last season was not what you're usually accustomed to seeing from Alabama, right? They took a step back in Kalen DeBoer's first year, yet the game is still the most important on Georgia's loaded 2025 schedule. It's going to be the first time, and hell, I can't remember the last time that we've had Alabama and Georgia. We've had to go there last season, and we've played them in SEC title games, national title games, and more often in the Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta. But it hasn't been at Georgia. It hasn't been to Georgia in a long time. And so we get them there and say, no Saturday figures to be as important as Georgia's September 27th, game against Alabama at Sanford Stadium, giving the Bulldogs 1-6 record against the Crimson Tide under Coach Kirby Smart. ESPN's Mark Slayback wrote, last season, Georgia's nearly rallied from a 30-7 deficit at the half and a 40-34 loss to Alabama. Yes, I remember it well. The Bulldogs held a 34-33 lead, but then watched it disappear on Jalen Merrill's 75-yard touchdown pass to Ryan Williams. With 2:18 to play, another loss to the Tide wouldn't knock the Bulldogs out of the SEC title game or the CFP as we saw last season, but it will put us in an early hole, and that is true. Besides putting it early, who cares about it? I'm talking about we need to beat them. I don't want to hear that nonsense. These things, all the stuff this article's mentioned are just like ancillary topics. We just need to beat them. That's all I got to say. Like it's Georgia, Alabama, man. That's the number one reason why, right? Again, I'm not convinced it's the most important game next season, but it could be once the season starts. As Slayback points out, Smart is 1-6 in his time against Alabama, man. 1-6. It's the only program that has consistently given him trouble. It is. If I can't think of one that's consistently beat us since Kirby's been here. It's Alabama, man. However, this year's contest will be different from the previous 7. And that is the first that will be played in Athens between the two schools, like I just mentioned. The last time Alabama visited Athens came back in 2015 when Smart was still Alabama's DC. So, obviously, Georgia, not that good at the time. Alabama came away with a 38-10 win. Georgia does have the nation's longest home winning streak as the Bulldogs have won 31 straight. You know what I mean? It's effort between the hedges. Georgia's last home loss came against South Carolina in 2019. Don't even mention that, you son of a guns. Excuse me. Both Alabama and Georgia will be breaking in new quarterbacks next season, as I mentioned before. Georgia's game against Alabama is set for September 27th, the 4th game of the season for the Dogs. Both teams will have a bye before facing each other. Appreciate that. Georgia over the 25. So, this is going to be Saturday prime time type stuff, right? 7:30 p.m., 8 p.m., ESPN, college football, Herb Street and what's his name calling the game more than likely. It's going to be big, man. 4th game of the season, like they just mentioned. Both teams get a bye before the game. I like my Dogs' chances, though, bro. I really like the Dogs' chances, right? So, this more I got a little bit of Georgia Tech news. Not much right now, but it comes as far as it a loss for their homecoming game date has been announced. Georgia Tech will be facing Syracuse on October 25th, and that will be the Yellow Jackets' homecoming game. So for those who didn't know who won up on that, Georgia Tech just announced homecoming game schedule. They're playing against Syracuse at home for all of you guys that are interested in that news. And hey, let's slide quickly to some Hawks basketball, man. Hawks, man. Oh, man. Rough ones for the Hawks, man. Rough out here for the Hawks, bro. Rough. I mean, Trae Young got in the game, obviously was able to get in to the All-Star game when Giannis couldn't play because of injury. Obviously, Trae Young in the All-Star game, total of 11 minutes through the 2 games he played. 4 points, 2 rebounds, 7 assists. And then I don't know if you guys saw the video of him he went off of, whose back did he throw? He threw it off a player's back. I think it was Steph Curry's, and then he went through a player's legs with the ball, and then he threw up. It was a nice play. It was an all-star game type play, though, so that's the kind of stuff you guys see in there. The Hawks, they're on a 1-game losing streak, man. After losing to the Knicks, overtime thriller, which was the last game before the All-Star break. It happened right after. Remember, I told you the score of the game last week's show, and they ended up losing by 1 point. The game went down to overtime, man. But, I mean, Brunson, Cat, Karl Anthony Towns, they were a little bit too much for the Hawks to handle down the stretch. Last 2 games, 112, 106 win over the Magic. And, of course, the aforementioned 149, 148 loss to the Knicks, man, right there in overtime. So let's see. And let's check this out, man. All-Star break. Let's take a look at the power rankings for the NBA at the All-Star break, where the Atlanta Hawks kickoff game action again. I think it's tomorrow is when they get back to playing some games. But okay, so here's the power rankings, right? The mids, I guess you could say All-Star break power rankings for the NBA. As we look at here, the Oklahoma City Thunder at number 1. At number 2, the Cleveland Cavaliers. No surprise there. The Boston Celtics at 3, pretty. In the top 4, the Denver Nuggets. That's not really a surprise, right? So then we get to the Grizzlies at number 5, man. Grizzlies, man, making this as of late, playing some good basketball. The New York Knicks at number 6. We all know how they've been playing good basketball this season, beat the Hawks, right? And the Lakers at number 7. Obviously, Doncic is going to bump them up a little bit. The Rockets at number 8. At number 9, the Minnesota Timberwolves at number 10 in these power rankings. If you just tune in, I'm reading the NBA's All-Star break power rankings. At number 10, you got the Indiana Pacers. At number 11, you got the Clippers. At number 12, you got the Milwaukee Bucks. At number 13, you got the Dallas Mavericks, who are playing pretty good basketball since the trade, and also Anthony Davis getting injured. So, damn, Davis might come back, and they might be on their way, man. Wouldn't that be crazy? Wouldn't that be crazy, y'all? Dallas Mavericks would just like get to the playoffs and beat the Lakers. Like they have a playoff matchup, and it's against the Lakers, and they beat them. That'd be crazy, right? That'd be crazy. Also, I wonder how the fans would feel about that. I wonder how the fans would feel if the Dallas ends up taking it home this season, and after they talked all of that trash, and rightfully so, but they had caskets at the arena, bro. Caskets and funerals at the arena. What will happen if the team turns out to be really good in the playoffs, and those fans start to turn into, oh, wait a minute, oh, we're good, oh, but the team isn't dead. See what happens with that. Anyway, at number 13, the Dallas Mavericks. At number 14, Detroit Pistons. At number 15, the Golden State Warriors. At number 16, Sacramento Kings. Also, shouts out Steph Curry, All-Star Game MVP. AD trash. Oh, he said, nah, it wouldn't be. Yeah, man, it'd be crazy. That'd be the craziest. It would be super crazy if that happened. Anyway, Sacramento Kings at number 16, Phoenix Suns at 17, Miami Heat at 18, Orlando Magic at 19, and we got my Hawks, man. Hawks down there at number 20 in the power rankings. It says it wasn't the prettiest offensive performance, particularly for All-Star Trae Young, who finished 1 for 8 from the 3 and had 9 turnovers. But Atlanta's defense carried the team past the Magic on the road for his 3rd straight win. So that was right there within. It's number 21, San Antonio Spurs. 22, Portland Trail Blazers. At number 23, the Philadelphia 76ers. At the 24, they got the Chicago Bulls. The Nets at 25. The 26, they got the Toronto Raptors. All of these are, bottom of the league teams. Hornets at 27, 28, the Jazz. Pelicans at 29, number 30 is the Wizards, and that rounds out the power rankings. So top 4, not surprised by any stretch when it comes to those teams that are there. Let's see what else. Oh, apologies. Yeah. So, there's one more thing I want to put on here that I had seen on here when it comes to this. Trae Young, not a fan of long breaks when it comes to the All-Star game. I don't think a lot of players like the format. We heard Draymond's comments afterwards where he was, straight trashing on it. I don't know about his comments about Golden State winning the title this year. Draymond, relax, bro. Relax. Yeah, man, Brunson hit that jumper at the end of the game, put him ahead of the Hawks for good, man. It's just a couple injuries, though, man. Larry Nance Jr., Cressy out several weeks. Couple injury news right quick before we move on. The Atlanta Hawks will be without forwards Cressy and Larry Nance Jr. for several weeks because of injuries sustained on back-to-back possessions in the fourth quarter of Monday's victory over the Magic. Right, Nance, 32, exited because of a right knee injury with 8:01 left. He was taken to Emory Sports Medical Complex in Atlanta for evaluation and imaging, which revealed a non-displaced fracture in his right medial in his knee. I can't pronounce the word. The team said Nance will be reevaluated in about 6 weeks. So we're without down Nance for 6 weeks. Cressy, 24, sustained a lower back contusion. The Hawks said that further evaluation and imaging confirmed a non-displaced lumbar fracture. He will be reevaluated in 3 to 4 weeks. So that's 2 players, man, 2 key players from the Hawks that are going to be down, that will be down for that. So, yeah, man, hey, look, man, we know the Hawks fighting an uphill battle. You know, there's a lot of better teams in the East. There's a lot of better teams in the league, period. And so the Hawks would be on sort of this, I don't know, the uphill battle. So let's just hope we make the playoffs, right? Let's just make the playoffs, even if we get bounced first round, which would suck. But let's see if we make them, right? Real quick before we wrap up, I always like to jump to Georgia's hoops, college hoops. 16-10, 13th in the SEC, 7.5 game backs of Auburn, who clapped us. Oh, no, we actually had a pretty close game against Auburn last time. It was Alabama that clapped us when it comes to that. But last 2 games, we got beat 69-53 by Texas A&M. Who was number 8 at the time. We lost 87-74 to Missouri. Just continuing to fall, man. The next game is Saturday, though, versus number 1 Auburn. We get our get back. It's probably going to go the same way the first one did. But I got confidence in Dogs, man. Let's see if we can knock Auburn out of there. See if we can put them. See if we can handle them cats right there. Let's see, Georgia Tech. Let's move on. Georgia Tech basketball. Really, just give you some quick stats. 13-13, 8th in the ACC. You know, Georgia's not known for their college basketball when it comes to either schools being absolutely incredible. They struggle a bit because of the other teams that are, you know, with the emergence of the SEC's basketball teams in the past few years, and then obviously the ACC has Duke and teams of that nature. So that's going to be some hard stuff to Clemson and things. So Georgia Tech 13-13, 8th in the ACC. Yeah, man, they won their last couple games against Stanford and Cal. Cal was a tip in at the last second, sort of a buzzer beater, if you want to call it that, which it was. But, you know, let's take a look at this. And then Lady Dogs, man, Lady Georgia Bulldogs, man, 10-16, 14th in the SEC. They have a rough go of it. Women's basketball in college is not a joke. The teams there, you talking about, you got, you know what I'm saying, you got USC, Texas, South Carolina, Notre Dame, you know, Juju Watkins, Paige Becker's out there. It's rough, man. It's rough in the women's thing, man. Got some beasts out there. So, like, it's not surprising to see Georgia's team 10-16, 14th in the SEC, really towards the bottom. The only team ahead of them, you know, 9.5 games back of Texas. But again, man, you talk about SEC, man. You got LSU in there too, man. It's a tough go of it for women's basketball teams, man. I keep saying it because it is, unless you are. And then also the Lady Jackets, want to mention them before I bounce up out of here. 21-5, 7th in the ACC, right? Playing some decent basketball, you know what I'm saying? They went on a 3-game L streak sort of toward midway through the season. They lost against Duke, and then they lost against Clemson last week. So, look, we'll see. We'll see. They got Wake Forest that they beat 73-62. They're going to go up against North Carolina State, NC State, and Florida State coming up for them in the next few games. But yeah, man, at least the women Yellow Jackets are doing just a tad bit better than the Lady Dogs. Not a tad bit, they're doing a lot better than Lady Dogs. I mean, they only got 5 losses on the season. They're ranked number 20th in the country as far as women's basketball goes. They probably make the tournament. And so we'll see where that goes. Also, real quick, let me mention something. Where is it at? Yeah, this is right here. Says this is bracketology. This is just a here we track every result every night, ranking and re-ranking what we eventually compromise. They think that the top overall seed will be Auburn, first team out will be VCU, Wake Forest, last team in. On the bubble, they have Georgia being one of the first 4 teams to get, you know, to not make it. So that's crazy. I just want to mention that real quick before I bounce up out of here. But yeah, man, as always, it's always a pleasure to talk with you guys about some Georgia sports. I love Georgia sports. You know what I'm saying? I down here in the southern states where it warmed up a little bit and now it's getting cold again. There was some snow flurries. I saw them this morning when I got off work going to Georgia, and then it's an insane time right now with the weather. Insane time. That's why my voice will probably always sound a little straggly because I'm always going to have a cough. because Georgia can't get its it's make up its mind what the weather's gonna be like. But anyway, we'll see y'all next week, man. See you guys next Wednesday. You have been watching Georgia Sports Central on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all things that are sports. Y'all have a good one, man. Enjoy the rest of your week. Enjoy the games this weekend, whatever sports you root for. Baseball is coming soon. Spring training game starts Saturday. Soccer, the Atlanta United first game is this Saturday as well. So, you guys enjoy it. Enjoy your week. I'll see y'all next Wednesday.